2001, Jody Torgian, at the age of 22, lost her life to sudden cardiac arrest. Her family decided to turn a tragic loss into a vital giving organization called Butterflies from Jody. Since that time, they've donated over 50 automated external defibrillators throughout Westchester. If Jody would have had one of these AEDs, there's a chance that she'd still be alive today. And they figure about 30% of cardiac deaths could be prevented if they had these AEDs in hand. They have also given out what they call butterflies to nonprofit organizations, which are grants to organizations that need it, in the tune of over $500,000 since 2001.
Thank you, Joe. Meredith?
Joe, Luis Severino listed as tomorrow's starter on the game notes. Why the change?
Well, we discussed it. We had been preparing him for it. It allows for him to start 3 more times if needed. If he was to start on Friday, he could have went Friday and Wednesday, and we would not have been able to start him the following Sunday if it is needed. Our goal is still to win the division. We have clinched nothing at this point. We still have a lot of work to do in front of us, so it gives us the ability to start him 3 more times.
Do you foresee, should something happen where the picture becomes a little bit more clear, you could potentially
we can
move him
adjust. We can adjust things because we have 6 starters and do what we feel is the right thing to do. But right now, he'll start tomorrow.
Right now, it just seems like you guys can't gain any ground on the Red Sox. Every time you win, they win. You lose, they lose. Do you feel like you're starting to run out of time here?
Well, I know the time is short, but things can happen really quick in this game, and we've seen that. We've seen ourselves go from 3.5 down 1 week to being in first place in 1 week. And you hope that that can happen again, but the only thing we're in control of is what we do.
Brendan?
Joe, Matt Holliday out second straight day. What's the
left-handers against this young man that we're facing today, and Matty will probably be back in there tomorrow.
John?
Joe, with Severino, could that potentially come down to a tough call you have to make as far as, if you have a chance to win, but then you might not be for the wild card if you don't win?
It could. Chances are that could possibly happen, so you just kind of play it by ear. You're really not going to know, but again, it gives us the ability to start him 3 more times if we need to.
But you put the priority on trying to win the division.
Yes.
Right?
Who else? Natalie?
Deagle came here with big shoes to fill, and he's not only done that, but he's flourished here, especially this year. What impresses you most just about how he's handled that change?
I think it's his growth the last 3 years from, the first time that we had him and trying to do too much the first month to hitting 4th in our order. And probably would have drove in 100 runs had it not been for missing the first 4 weeks of the season. So I think, to me, just the growth that he's had and the maturation as a player and becoming a leader in the clubhouse has been really pretty special to watch.
Meredith?
Joe, you were asked about Betances after the game yesterday, whether he would benefit from some lower leverage innings, and you said you weren't quite sure what you were going to do yet. Have you made any decision?
Well, I probably wouldn't use him tonight anyway because he's pitched 2 days in a row, but I still have a lot of confidence in Dellin, and sometimes when you use a guy is easy to determine, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's based on needs. So I consider him still a late inning guy. We just got to get him right.
Right here, Neftali.
For today's game, what are you expecting from CC to keep him winning the way he's been pitched
the win?
the last couple
well,
of times?
I mean, he's probably the best pitcher had a half down a mound on a windy day because it's not going to affect him. I don't think. It just depends which way the wind is blowing. And yesterday it seemed to be coming in from left field a little bit yesterday. But I don't think the wind will be an issue for CC. He's pitched in cold, windy days in the month of October and in April, and I think he's prepared for this.
George?
Joe, you're 12-5, and how much effect do you think that goes to Ellsbury's play?
Oh, I think a lot. I think he's had a lot to do with this. The way he's played the last month has been special. It's kind of how we envisioned Jacoby playing, and he's been a big part of it. And there's a lot of other guys that have been a big part of it, but he's been in the middle of a lot of rallies and some big hits.
Billy.
Just you had concerns about CC pitching on the turf. Any in Toronto? Any concerns about with the conditions of the field tonight? With the
Well,
wind?
I mean, the tarp's going to be on. The wind is not an issue. Sometimes if it's I'm right as of right now. No.
Anyone else here in the back?
What would you say are the biggest differences between the Twins today and the Twins you faced in July?
I think they've matured. I think the young guys have a better feeling and understanding of what makes them successful. I think for a lot of young players, there's a lot of trial and error the first few months, first 3 or 4 months of a season. You see teams the second and third time they make adjustments to you. You have to make adjustments to them. And I think now they believe. And I think that's a big difference, too, because there's so much failure in this game. When you're a young player, sometimes too often you look over your shoulder when you're going through a tough time. But these guys know that they can play, and I think that's really helped them out.
Billy.
Between getting a chance to see Berrios and Santana, presumably one of those guys you would see in a wild card game, does that give you any sort of advantage or?
It really comes down to a pitcher making his pitches. Is the bottom line. And obviously, as a hitter, I mean, you'd love to see, him as much as you can if you do face him, so you have an idea. This will be the second time we're going to see Berrios. Some of our guys have seen Santana over a number of years, but it really comes down to them making their pitches.
Neftali.
We are all the shaman happened before, it's a couple of weeks before. It's making good what you did with him. Do you think you had a chance to do the same thing with Early Bertans, bringing down the Motorhead from the 8th?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do whatever it takes to try to get him right. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do, and you can do some work on the side with him, if it presents itself. But we're going to do whatever we can to get him right, just like we did with Chappie.